Today, I'm going to show you how you can set up a personalized pre-filled Google form for each of the students that you teach. Now, if you're a teacher who uses Google Forms on a daily basis for warm-ups or exit tickets, this is definitely something you want to consider. Now, the great thing about this is, for example, we have Ned Flanders here. If Ned bookmarks this form each and every day he goes here to this site, his first name, his last name, his email address, period, all of that is pre-populated, saving valuable classroom time so we can immediately start answering the question to the do now. It also prevents typos. So if you're in the spreadsheet sorting by last name or looking at summary of responses, you're going to have consistent data each and every time. So once Ned answers this question, you'll notice, if we scroll down, we also have a link to a Google Doc file. So Ned or a group of students, if they're working out of a Google Doc, can share out the link, copy it, paste it here, and when they click submit, everything is going to go to a single spreadsheet and be housed in one place. So here's the back end of the spreadsheet. You'll notice quite a few students have started submitting their do nows. Ned Flanders, NF Flanders or nflanders at fox.com, period 1. All of that information is going to be the same every time because it's pre-filled. Here's his answer, and then if there's a link he included, that'll show up here. So I'm going to show you how to create that pre-filled form, but before doing that, I need to give a shout out to Alice Keeler over at teachertech.com, who has tons of fabulous tutorials on her site. This is one of the tutorials that I watched. Now I'm able to bring it back to you. So to get started, you're going to log in to your Google Drive account. Once you log in the Google Drive, just click on New, go to More, and click on Google Forms. That'll open up the Google Form Editor, and the first thing that I typically do whenever I'm in the editor is I click where it says Untitled Form, and I give it a title. So we'll call this Do Now Demo. Okay. Next, we want to come up with those questions as well as our pre-fill questions. So first one is going to be first name. I'm going to use text as my question type, and I'm going to click done. And from here, I can just hit the duplicate button. So duplicate, last name, duplicate, email, duplicate, period. Next, I want to add a paragraph text where the student can answer the do now. And I'm going to add one more item, text, and this will be my link to Google Doc. Now I'm going to click done. If I scroll back up top here and click on View Live Form, you'll notice that the form has all the information that I want. However, that pre-filled information is not there, so we need to add it. So we're going to go back to our Google Form Editor, and then you'll notice we have an option for responses and an option to get a pre-filled URL. This is where I'm going to refer to my spreadsheet with the student information and decide what I want, pre-filled. So I want their first name. So in all caps as an identifier, I'm going to type first name. Do the same thing for last name. Write last name, all caps. Email, all caps. Period, all caps. The answer and link I want to leave blank because that is going to be filled in by the student. I'm going to click submit, and they're going to give me the URL for the pre-filled information. So now let's go back to our form editor once again, and we're going to click where it says view responses, and that's going to take us to our main spreadsheet. So this is where those responses are going to be populated under the form responses. I'm going to add a new tab at the bottom for my roster, and that's going to include first name, last name, email, period, and then the student Dropbox or form, whatever you want to call it. I'll then just drag this guy down to set it as a header. I can even click on sheet 2 and maybe call this roster. I'm next going to click here on my Dropbox site, and I'm going to paste in the URL I just copied, but I'm going to paste it in as a formula. So I'm going to do equals, quote, paste it in, end quote, enter. There we go. So next, I want to go and get the information and put it in here so that each student will get their own personalized form. So I'm going to go and find that information right now. So here we've got student first name, last name, and email, as well as their period. I'm going to copy that. And then I'm going to go back to my spreadsheet. Click under first name, paste it in. There we go. So if we click on the Dropbox link right now for Doug Saunders, you'll notice that our pre-filled information is first name, last name, email, and period. We want that to actually obviously have the student first name, last name, email, and period. So let's go back to our form. And we're going to click where it says Dropbox. 2 clicks. And you're just going to go in here and look for those identifiers. So where it says first name, we're going to highlight first name. And you're going to do quote, ampersand, ampersand, quote. And between the 2 ampersands, you're going to put the first name field A2. And we're going to do the same thing for last name. We're going to highlight last name, quote, ampersand, ampersand, quote. And then our last name is under B2. Then we're going to find the email. We're going to highlight the word email, quote, ampersand, ampersand, email. Or I'm sorry, quote. And then between the ampersands, we're going to put C2. And then our last one, period, we're going to highlight, quote, ampersand, ampersand, quote, and then we're going to put D2. Then we're going to hit enter. So now, if we click on the Dropbox link, look what happens. All of that information has been pre-populated. Doug Saunders, email address, period. So now I just have to bookmark this URL and I'll be able to visit this site and all that information will always be here. I could also do a tiny URL. So let's go back to our initial spreadsheet and we're just going to copy down the formula for each of the other students. So if you look here, if I click on column E, once I get a plus sign for my cursor, I'm just going to drag it down and let go. And that's going to copy that formula down for each of the students in that class. So if I go over here to Seymour Skinner, click on his link and open it up, you'll notice that it says Seymour Skinner with his email address. So that is how you set up pre-populated forms in Google Drive.